Hey everybody, I am back today with the first of two layouts. These layouts are for Cherry on Top. I'm showing you this week's Becky Fleck sketch. You have the opportunity to enter this challenge and win a gift card, or I think it's 1,000 cherry points, which equals a $5 coupon to the shop. These are always really fun challenges. There's one every week, so I decided to go ahead and create one of two layouts that will be on the blog tomorrow, Wednesday, with the sketch. So I am going to be using that Slam Dunk collection from Cartabella. The collection that is all basketball, but we're not doing basketball with it. So I am going to use a piece of Basil natural colored cardstock, and then I'm also going to use this dark blue star paper to create my layout with today. And then tomorrow I have a layout going up with a fun mixed media background as well. So I am going to gut this paper. I generally don't gut papers, but I do really like this star paper, and I think I might want to use it for another one of my layouts, so I thought I better save some of it. I'm going to adhere the natural cardstock down to this pattern paper with some tear it tape, and then I'm going to go ahead and place the natural cardstock on top. This is going to give me a nice border or frame around my cardstock. Now it's time to play with my photos. So here's the photo, another one of Logan's senior pictures. And I have two, so if you have never had a child take senior pictures before, when you take senior pictures, there are multiple outfits and multiple poses and all of that kind of stuff. So I have 3 layouts total from this outfit that I want to scrapbook with these papers. So one I've already done. This will be the second, and then I have a third one that'll come up on my channel tomorrow. And then that will be that section of his senior photos, which at this point I think is just going to be a whole album on its own, because that's actually what I did for his brother too. Morgan's senior photos are also in an album all by themselves. I'm going to mat my photo with 2 mats. One is going to be this thin orange, and then the second one, I kind of went back and forth about this, but I decide on the horizontal stripes. Next, I went through my die stash and I grabbed a couple different dies that I thought would work really well for my photograph. And I'm showing them all to you here. If any of the dies I'm using is still available, they will be linked up in the description box below. But I did really stash dive into my metal dies, and I don't think any of them are available. I have Crackling Campfire and Rustic Wilderness Distress Oxide inks, and I'm going to go ahead and color my leaves. So I cut my leaves in craft cardstock, white cardstock, and dark green cardstock. Then I am adding a layer of the Rustic Wilderness on top of those papers. What that does is it's going to make the leaves look different. So I didn't want all my leaves to look cookie cutter the same. So by cutting some in craft and some in white and some in green, I'm getting different shades of green when you mix it with the Rustic Wilderness, and that's going to give some interest and fun to my layout. I love how this turned out. I think it's a really great tip if you don't have a lot of die cuts, but you want to create your own embellishments for a project, and you can, and you're doing something where you can ink it up. You can ink up your die cuts for some different shading. A great way to kind of make the leaves, in this case the leaves, but it could be something else, look not the same, is to just die cut them in different color bases for your cardstock, and then you can ink over colors. Hope that makes sense. And the die cuts will look different. Like when you look at my leaves on my finished page, while the leaves are all green, they're all different shades and colors of green. And I really like that difference and interest that provides. To help build my title, I cut this smile word. This is an older die from Lawn Fawn, and I'm going to layer it up. So I have a stick and stamp mat from Brutus Monroe. I've cut my word 3 times in white cardstock and then once in that orange, dark orange color that is going to be throughout my layout. And then my title will have this kind of nice, substantial, dimensional element to it. Almost like a chipboard, but more stable and not smelly. These dragonflies, the die is from Honeybee Stamps, and I know that it is no longer available over at A Cherry on Top. I cut the wings twice in a like parchment type of vellum, and then I cut the body of the dragonflies in orange. Now, I will say I cut tons of embellishments, and that is because I decided I would use the same embellishments for 2 different layouts, both of the layouts that are in the blog post and in my videos today. Notice that we're not going to use everything on this layout, and then what we don't use on this layout, I went ahead and used on my second layout, and that video will be up tomorrow. Another kind of interesting element we're going to add to this layout, if you watched my Technique Tuesday video, I think not last week, I think it was the week before. Oh no, it was last week, so last Tuesday it would have gone up at A Cherry on Top's website, or on their YouTube, and it's on mine too. I think I have it in there as well. I made all of those strips from my lumber 3D embossing folder, and I do have quite a few of them left over. I think I had maybe 5 or 6, and I decided that since I want all of these pages that I'm doing to really coordinate with each other, in the finished album, I'm going to pull in some of those leftover embossed panels. If you want to see how I made those embossed panels, I would check out that video. It's on my channel too. I think the title or what the video says is something like creating texture with embossing folders. So you can check that video out, and kind of if you want to watch them in order, I created that layout. Now I'm creating this one, and I'm using the panels that I made in the first layout is also going to be a part of this layout because it worked really well for the design that is part of the sketch. So the sketch has all these kind of little strips, and you use those strips as your kind of landing spot for your embellishment clusters and different things. So I cut just some strips, more strips from the pattern papers that I'm using already in my layout. So the striped panel, I just turned the stripe the other way, and then that blue as well. And then here's that embossed panel with the gold. And now we can go ahead, I'm kind of showing you where the embellishment clusters are going to go. Next, I'm going to go ahead and kind of start working with my title and how I want my title to be. My title is going to be Love This Boy's Smile. I've already die cut the smile word, and then for the Love This Boy's, I am using a puffy alphabet set from Pink First Studio. And I am kind of snuggling it in right there underneath the strips of paper beside my photo. And then I am going to go ahead and add one of those die cut leaves underneath the word smile. I wanted to pull in some of the elements from the rest of the page into my title, and I thought that that would be a really great way to do it. Now I'm just going to go ahead and start creating the clusters with all of the die cuts that I made, choosing a couple of places and just adding them in. And as I do this, you'll be able to really see the difference in the tones of green that all these leaves have. As I started to create this layout, I realized that I wanted to add a little bit more gold to it. I know that the other layout I've done already has a lot of this kind of gold metallic look to it. So I'm going to go through, even if I've already glued them down, I'm going to pull them back up, and I'm just going to run my leaves across the edge run my gold pigment ink around the edges of the leaves to give them a little bit more interest. And I really, really like how this turned out. It turned out perfectly. And I think that this gold metallic ink from Catherine Pooler is going to quickly become a favorite. Cooper's with me today. He says hello. Once I had all of the leaves in place, I decided I wanted a little bit more splatter. So I grabbed some gold splatter from my stash, and I am going to give it a good shake and then do a quick splatter just around where the clusters are. And I kind of wanted the splatter to be like on the leaves, and I didn't mind so much if it went into some of the open space on the photo as well. And here is my finished layout all done. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Below in the description box, you will find all the links to everything you may want with regard to this particular project. And be sure to check out the Cherry blog and the Becky Fleck Sketch Challenge over there as well. Talk to you all again soon. Bye.